Welcome to this brief guide on how to easily create named ranges in Excel. Ever looked at a formula like equals B2 times C15 and had no idea what it meant 3 months later? Well, the fix for this is named ranges, but manually defining every single one in the name manager is tedious and slow. So, what if Excel could do it for you in just 2 clicks? Well, today I'm going to show you Create from Selection, the hidden tool that turns your existing headers into named ranges automatically. Let's get into it. First off, let's talk about where this magic button lives. You've probably noticed this little box in the top left corner of your spreadsheet, just to the left of the formula bar. This is what's called the name box. Most people only ever use it to check which cell they're in, but you can actually click inside it, type a name, and hit enter to name whatever range you have selected. Now that's the manual one at a time approach. And if you've got a data set with 12 columns and 20 rows, you are not going to want to sit there and do that individually. So that's where Create from Selection comes in. You'll find it in the Formulas tab, over here in the Defined Names group, right here next to Name Manager and Define Name. The key difference is the word selection. Instead of you typing a name and pointing it at a range, this tool looks at the headers that you've already typed, so your column headers and your row labels, and converts them into official named ranges automatically. It reads the structure that you've already built and then formalizes it. There's no duplicated effort, there's no typos from retyping names into the name manager. But honestly, you're never going to click that ribbon button again after I show you the keyboard shortcut really soon. So, here's the core workflow. Let's take a look at the regional sales sheet. We've got 5 regions down the left-hand side: North, South, East, West, and Central. And across the top row, all 12 months, January through December. Step 1, and this is critical, is to highlight your entire data block, including the headers. So I'm clicking on cell A1 and dragging all the way down and across to select everything. Headers in row 1, region labels in column A, and all the data in between. You need the headers included because that's where the names come from. Excel will look at this selection and say, the top row has text labels, so those are the column names. And the left column has text labels, so those are the row names. Everything else is data. Now here comes the power move. Instead of clicking through the ribbon, hit Ctrl+Shift+F3 on Windows or Command+Shift+F3 on Mac. This dialog box will pop up, Create Names from Selection, and it's asking where your labels are. You'll see 4 checkboxes: top row, left column, bottom row, and right column. Excel usually pre-ticks the correct ones for you. In our case, it's got top row and left column already selected, which is exactly right. So we go ahead and we click OK. And believe it or not, that's the whole process. So let's verify it. Click the name box drop-down arrow in the top left corner and look at that list. We have North, South, East, West, Central, January, February, all the way through December. If we click on North, it highlights the entire row. If we click on March, it highlights the column. We just named 17 ranges in under 2 seconds. So, why did we just do that? Well, the real payoff is what happens when you start writing formulas. This is where named ranges go from being just a neat trick to a genuinely life-changing element. Let me click on an empty cell below our data. Say I want to calculate the total annual sales for the North region. Without named ranges, I'd have to figure out the coordinates. So North starts at B2 and ends all the way over here in M2. So I would have to type equals sum B2 colon M2 and hope that I got the right cells. If I miscounted a column or accidentally grabbed N2, which is the annual total, my formula is silently wrong. There's no error message, I just have bad data. But with named ranges in place, well, watch this. I type equals sum, open bracket, and then just start typing the word north. N-O-R, and look at that. That dropdown is IntelliSense, also called Formula Autocomplete. Excel recognizes north as a named range and offers it as a suggestion. And if you see that little icon next to it, that tells you that it's a name, not a function. I hit Tab to autocomplete, close the parentheses, and hit Enter. The formula bar now reads equals sum north, not equals sum B2 colon M2. It's written in plain English. Anyone opening this spreadsheet 6 months from now can read that and immediately understand what it does. And it's not just about readability. It's also about accuracy. When you type equals sum north, Excel knows exactly which cells belong to that range. You can't accidentally grab the wrong data. So now let's try one more. Say I want the average for the East region. Equals average, then East, tab, done. See, we get equals average East. Which would you rather be debugging at 5 PM on a Friday? That or equals average D2 colon D13? Now, this next point catches a lot of people off guard. Named ranges have something called scope, which determines where in your workbook the name is available. Workbook scope means that it's accessible from any sheet. Sheet scope means that it only works on the sheet where it was created. The good news is, Create from Selection creates names with workbook scope by default. So they're not locked to just the regional sales sheet. They're global. Let me show you why that matters. I'll click over here to the Summary Dashboard, a completely separate sheet in my workbook. I'll click in an empty cell, type equals sum north, and hit Enter. And it works. It pulled the data from the regional sales sheet without me writing equals sum regional sales exclamation mark B2 colon M2. No sheet reference needed, no exclamation marks, just equals sum north. That's massive for dashboards. Your raw data can live in one sheet and your summary on another, and everything just references the same clean names. And here's a bonus that most people don't know about. Named ranges also double as a navigation tool. So say you're deep in your summary dashboard and you want to jump back to the north data. Go back up to that name box dropdown, select north, and watch. Excel instantly jumps you back to the regional sales sheet and highlights the entire range. They're basically kind of like bookmarks for your spreadsheet. Okay, but what about formulas that you've already written? Maybe you've inherited a workbook and it's full of these cryptic cell references. Now, you're not about to retype every single one of them. And the best part, you don't have to. Excel has a tool called Apply Names. It's basically a retroactive find and replace for cell references inside formulas, and almost nobody knows it exists. So, let me switch over to the product pricing sheet. If you scroll down, there's a summary statistics section here with formulas like equals average B2 colon B9 and equals sum F2 colon F9. Functionally, these are correct, but they're completely unreadable unless you know that column B is unit price and column F is subtotal. So first, let's set up named ranges for this sheet. Select the data block, including the headers, A1 all the way through to I9, hit Ctrl+Shift F3, top row is ticked, and we click OK. Now we've got names for every column: product name, unit price, units sold, subtotal, and so on. Now I'll highlight the summary formulas. That's these cells in the summary statistics section. Head up to the Formulas tab again and click the little drop-down arrow next to Define Name, not the button itself, the small arrow beside it, and select Apply Names. A dialog box will show you all of your available named ranges. Just simply select all of them and click OK. Now let's take a look at the formulas. Equals average B2 colon B9 has become equals average unit price. Equals sum F2 colon F9 is now equals sum subtotal. And equals sum H2 colon H9 now reads equals sum net revenue. Excel has matched each cell range to its corresponding named range and swapped them out. Same numbers, just completely self-documenting. It's kind of like a spell check for formula readability. Now, one quick note though, apply names works by matching exact ranges. If a formula references B2:B9 and your named range covers B2:B9, it's a perfect match and gets replaced. But row-level formulas like equals B2 times C2, they reference individual cells, not full column ranges, so apply names won't touch those, which is actually what you want since those are already scoped to their row. And a quick technical heads up before the final pro tip. This is the thing that trips people up the first time, and I don't want you to think that the tool is broken. Excel has some very strict rules for valid names, so no spaces, can't start with a number, and no special characters like a percentage sign. Your headers will almost certainly break at least one of these rules. But Create from Selection handles the cleanup automatically for you. Let me open up the Name Manager. You can do this with Ctrl+F3 and show you what Excel did with our product pricing headers. Unit price became unit_price. The space was replaced with an underscore. Pretty straightforward. 2025 discount became _2025_discount. The underscore prefix is there because names can't start with a number, plus another underscore replacing the space. The key takeaway here is just awareness. When you type a formula referencing unit price, you need to type unit_price with the underscore and not a space. If you type a space, IntelliSense won't find it. It's the same with _2025_discount. Don't forget the leading underscore. But once you know these substitution rules, it all kind of just clicks into place. Now, here's our final section, and this is a bit of a big one. Everything we've done so far has one limitation that you need to know about. The names that Create from Selection creates are static. They point to fixed ranges of cells. So if North runs from B2 to M2, that's hard-coded. It's a snapshot of your data at the moment you created the name. Now, why does that matter? Well, let me switch to the expense tracker sheet. This is a typical log. There's dates, employees, departments, amounts. There's 30 rows of data. If I run Create from Selection on it and open up the Name Manager, I'd see that the amount range will be saying F2:F31. 30 rows, absolutely perfect. But if I then type a new expense at row 32 and then go back to the Name Manager, the amount range will still say F2:F31. It doesn't automatically expand. So any formula using equals some amount is now silently giving us the wrong answer. There's no error, it's just missing data, and that's pretty dangerous. But the fix for this is Excel tables. So before you run Create from Selection, select all of your data and press Ctrl+T. Confirm the range and be sure to tick My data has headers. Then click OK. You'll see the alternating row colors and filter arrows appear. That means that it's now an official table. The best part here is that tables are dynamic, so type data into the row below a table and it will automatically expand to include it. So if your named ranges reference a table, they inherit that dynamic behavior. The range will automatically grow with your data. In fact, once you're using tables, you might not even need named ranges for that data. Tables have their own system called structured references. So you can write equals sum table1 amount, and it's readable, dynamic, and auto-updating. The practical rule of thumb here, if your data rarely changes, so something like a pricing table, tax rates, etc., Create from Selection is fine on its own. But if your data is going to be growing over time, so logs, transactions, expense trackers, convert it to a table first and then name your ranges. That will help you keep everything in sync. So there you have it. Stop manually typing coordinates. Stop hunting for cell references. Go ahead and use Create from Selection to instantly build a dictionary for your data. It's faster, it's cleaner, and it makes your spreadsheets actually usable for other human beings. If you found this helpful, you know what to do. And if you want to see how to use these named ranges to build a dynamic dashboard, be sure to check out my other named ranges video in the description below, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, be sure to check out the channel, and if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.